Hey everyone, Light487 here again. It's been a while since I've made a video of any kind, so today I am going to make a video about this little device. It's called the Box Mod 101. It's made by Garry Dibley, who's the guy who made my USB pass-through, which you've probably seen in other videos. It's a 510 device. These are made exclusively by Garry for the Liberty Flight's e-liquid online stores. I don't know if they're available on the US store of Liberty Flights, but they're certainly available on the UK one. So anyway, basically it is a battery case. Okay, and that's, it's just got a box mod essentially. The juice on there. Okay, so there's the insides. Let's see if I can focus it a bit better. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so you've essentially got two batteries, which you can see quite clearly. Down here is a bit of circuitry for the on-off switch, and then over here is the connection for the atomizer, and then these wires, and then in there you can see there's a resistor in there, and then down in here, there's some circuitry which is doing a bunch of stuff, which I'll explain. Now the batteries, they look very much like a AA battery, but in fact they're a battery with a model number, I guess, of 14500 or 14500s. They have the sort of standard, let's refocus there. They had the standard 3.7 voltage that almost all e-cigarettes are based on these days. So you've got the Ego, which is a 3.7 volt device. This one is the Indulgence, which has two batteries, just like this one, at 3.7 volt each. Now, all that circuitry that we found, that I was showing you in there, it's to regulate the voltage and the amount of current that flows through ultimately here. Now, two 3.7 volt batteries, obviously that adds up to 7.4 volts. You're not actually getting that to here, you're getting 5 volts. So it's all regulated to ensure that you're only getting 5 volts and a maximum of 3 amps to the actual atomizer. And the other parts of the circuitry are protection, so overcharge, undercharge, all the things that's going to protect your batteries and your atomizers and yourself from potential harm. Not that I've had any problems with any of my devices, but it's better to have that protection built in. I am using protected batteries, but this gives it that extra protection, which means that you don't need to have protected batteries. So the features here, there's this little switch down here, and that switch basically turns it on and off. So if it's in the off position, when you press the button, nothing happens. So you can put it in your bag or in your pocket or whatever. When it's on and you press the button, it activates and the blue light comes on. Now this light, I think it's too bright. It's just way too over the top. I'll just sort of point it at myself. You can see it's so bright that even in this light room, it's lighting up my face and everything. And I'll point it straight at the camera. You can see it's just way too bright. So if you're trying to vape in the dark or whatever, I suppose you can sort of hold your finger over it and sort of hide it, but it's yeah, I don't like it. It's too bright. The other thing here is the button is a very good quality button, but it does stick up quite high, as you can see, and the actual button placement is good in so far as the design and quality of the design. Like all that circuitry in here, it's really nicely, the solder joints are nice and everything's of high quality. It's going to last a while, but it is quite an awkwardly placed button, I have to say. So you can sort of hold it like that, and sort of wrap your finger around and activate it like that. But yeah, it's going to take a little bit to get used to. But ultimately, the main advantage to this is it's like the USB pass-through, the one that I've got, which is just basically straight from the USB port straight to the atomizer with no regulating batteries or anything like that. And so it's actually delivering a little bit more than the USB, I believe. Not much, like maybe 0.2 of a volt more than the USB delivers, because I do notice that it's actually a little bit more powerful than the pass-through is. So this is basically a portable solution for a 5-volt vaping product. Now, I just want to sort of give you some examples. So now, as I said before, hold up, this is the Indulgence version 2. There's a lot of casing here. So this unscrews, and it's got all these extra bits and pieces. So when the batteries connect, they have to go down to the bottom, and there's a little spring in there which connects to the case, and the case and the electricity comes up basically through the case to this extra bit here, which actually is separate from the rest, and at each sort of stage it sort of loses a bit of the power to the atomizer. So despite the fact that it's got two 3.7 volt batteries in there, there's just no way it's getting that much. You can feel it. It's not getting 7.4 volts or 6 volts or whatever, if they're regulating it, of power to the atomizer. It's just not happening. With the Ego, it's a great device. The Ego, it's nice and simple. It's small. It's light. This one in particular has a USB connection under this cap to charge it, etc. It's a great little device, but for standard resistance atomizers, hardly any vapor. So they work really well with low resistance atomizers, and that's what I use on them. And in some cases they work well with the cartomisers as well. But I'm just going to put it onto the box mod 101 now and show you how it vapes. So you can see probably twice as much vapor as I was getting from the Indulgence, and loads more than I was getting from the Ego. But I can really feel the throat hit is a lot stronger. It's more like a throat punch than a throat hit. That the Indulgence just doesn't deliver that at all. It doesn't even come close. So this is the same atomizer. I just put them on all of them, so there's no sort of different juice or different atomizer age or whatever involved. It's the same atomizer with the same juice. I haven't even put more juice on it. That's great. Yeah, so other than, as I say, the light being very bright, the button being in a slightly odd location, but as you can see, I'm not having any problems. It's a great device. It delivers a regulated 5 volts, which means that you're going to get pretty much 5 volts for the entire length of the battery life. And unless I change my mind, if I do change my mind and there's something else, I'll put it in the comments down there. Down in the comments or in the description, I'll also put a link to Liberty Flights because they have exclusive rights to this device. But I think it's well worth the money. Anyway, thanks for watching.